In a state-of-the-art research facility on the outskirts of Los Angeles, chaos reigned supreme. Scientists scurried about like caffeinated ants, their voices a blend of excitement and anxiety. At the center of this whirlwind stood Dr. Maxine Hart, a brilliant astrophysicist known for her genius and notorious for her clumsiness. Today, however, she was determined to shine. "Ladies and gentlemen," Maxine began, her voice booming over the cacophony, "I present to you the future of space exploration." With an exaggerated flourish, she unveiled an enormous, glittery model of a black hole, its tendrils of sparkles flowing like cosmic spaghetti. As she gestured wildly, a few rogue particles of glitter broke free, cascading through the air like stars falling from the sky. The government officials, each one more skeptical than the last, stared at her, unimpressed. One of them, a balding man in an ill-fitted suit, raised an eyebrow. "Dr. Hart, while we appreciate your creativity, we were hoping for something a bit more, scientific." Maxine's cheeks flushed. "No, no. You don't understand." The glitter, but before she could finish, the ground shook violently, sending papers and coffee cups flying. The officials' eyes widened in alarm. "Earthquake," one of them shouted, "or perhaps a dimension shift," chimed in Eddie, the Brain, Johnson, a lanky physics prodigy with thick glasses and a penchant for conspiracy theories. Just then, a shimmering portal opened up in the wall behind Maxine, swirling with iridescent colors. "What in the world," she gasped, her mouth agape, "is that? A rift to the edge of the universe?" Jack Rourke, the team's charming yet reckless pilot, asked incredulously. Maxine blinked, her heart racing. Yes. Exactly. I mean, potentially." The officials, who had just been moments away from dismissing her, now looked ready to sign any document to send a team through. "Congratulations, Dr. Hart," said the lead official, a woman with sharp glasses. "You've been appointed team leader. You're going through." "Wait, what?" Maxine exclaimed, panic swirling in her chest. She had expected a lecture on scientific rigor, not a one-way ticket to the unknown. But the officials were already shoving her and the team toward the portal, leaving her no choice. The ship, the Voyager, was a sleek, experimental spacecraft that looked like it had been designed by someone with a flair for the dramatic. As the team boarded, Maxine's heart raced, not just from excitement but from an undeniable sense of impending disaster. She fumbled with the controls, her mind racing with thoughts of glitter and alternate dimensions. "Okay, everyone, buckle up," she shouted, her voice tinged with both authority and a hint of panic. She glanced over her shoulder, catching Jack smirking at her. "What's so funny?" "Oh, nothing, just wondering how you plan to pilot this thing without a proper checklist," he teased, leaning back in his seat, arms crossed. "Checklist? We don't need a checklist," she declared, but deep down, she knew she had forgotten something important. As she punched in the launch coordinates, the ship trembled ominously. Is it supposed to shake like that?" Sophia Tan, the tech wizard and hacker, asked, her fingers flying over her tablet. "Probably just a minor calibration issue," Maxine lied, sweat beading on her forehead. "Initiating launch sequence, now." The ship lurched forward, propelling them into the vastness of space. The stars blurred into streaks of light outside the viewport, a dazzling spectacle that temporarily distracted them from the uncertainty ahead. "What do you think the edge of the universe is like?" Eddie mused, glancing up from his conspiracy-laden notebook. "Probably a really long line for the bathroom," Jack quipped, earning a laugh from Sophia and a half-hearted glare from Maxine. Suddenly, the ship emitted a loud alarm. Red lights flashed, and the control panel went haywire. "What's happening?" Maxine yelled, her eyes darting across the screen. I might have pressed the wrong button, Sophia admitted sheepishly. Just fix it. Maxine snapped, her heart racing. As the chaos unfolded, the ship's systems began to stabilize, but not without side effects. Time itself seemed to warp around them, creating a bizarre reality where food began to morph mid-bite. Jack took a bite of his sandwich, and it turned into a hot dog. What kind of gourmet experience is this? He joked, chewing thoughtfully. Don't ask me. I'm not a chef. Maxine replied, trying to suppress her laughter despite the rising tension. Eddie, what's your theory on this? Definitely an alternate dimension overlapping with ours, Eddie said, eyes wide with excitement. Or maybe it's just your cooking skills at work. Maxine rolled her eyes but couldn't help but smile. You know what, let's just hope we don't encounter a talking raccoon who claims to be a space agent. Moments later, the ship jolted again, and the walls of the control room shimmered. A raccoon, wearing a tiny space helmet, appeared on the screen, its eyes wide with mischief. Greetings, Earthlings. I'm Agent Rocky, intergalactic protector of snack supplies. Of course, Maxine said dryly, trying to keep a straight face as the rest of the crew erupted into laughter. Just what we need. As they ventured deeper into the cosmos, strange phenomena continued to escalate. They floated through nebulas that sparkled like fairy dust and dodged comets that looked suspiciously like giant marshmallows. Each passing moment further distorted their reality, testing their sanity and camaraderie. Maxine, Jack said, his expression suddenly serious. Do you think we're really ready for this? Ready or not, we're going, she replied, her voice steadier than she felt. We're already halfway to the edge of the universe. What's the worst that could happen? Famous last words, Sophia muttered, tapping away at her tablet. Incoming transmission from the raccoon. Apparently, he has vital information. Great, Maxine groaned. More interruptions. Trust me, you'll want to hear this, the raccoon said, its tiny paws waving dramatically on the screen. The edge of the universe is unstable. Reality is about to take a wild turn. Eddie leaned in closer. Wait, does that mean we're going to meet our alternate selves? Exactly. It's a dangerous crossing, but if you can navigate it, the rewards are unimaginable. Rocky declared, grinning widely. What rewards? A lifetime supply of snacks? Jack joked, but a nervous tension settled over the crew. Let's just focus on not dying first, Maxine said, her brow furrowed. Eddie, plot a course for the portal. We'll face whatever's on the other side together. As they approached the edge of the universe, the ship trembled violently, and the portal loomed before them, a swirling mass of colors and light that felt alive. Maxine's heart raced. Okay, everyone, hang on tight. Just as they were about to cross the threshold, the ship was caught in a gravity wave, pulling them toward the chaotic vortex. Maxine! Jack shouted, panic in his eyes. We're going to spiral into it. Everyone, brainstorm. We need a plan, she yelled over the roar of alarms. What if we all just become our alternate selves? It might work. Eddie suggested, his eyes shining with a mixture of fear and thrill. Or it might turn us into. Sophia started, but the ship jolted violently, interrupting her, not helping. Maxine snapped, struggling to keep the ship steady. We need to stabilize. In a moment of clarity, Maxine recalled something from her studies. We have to embrace our quirks. It's the only way. She took a deep breath. Jack, you handle the engines. Sophia, keep an eye on the systems. Eddie, be the brain you claim to be. With newfound determination, they each fell into their roles. Jack wrestled with the controls, Sophia hacked into the ship's systems, and Eddie recited his theories at lightning speed, calming everyone's nerves. Together, they worked in harmony, laughter and camaraderie helping to dispel the tension. They stabilized the ship, and just as the vortex threatened to consume them, they shot through the portal into the unknown. Emerging on the other side, they found themselves in a breathtaking landscape, a swirling panorama of colors, with multiple versions of themselves drifting through parallel realities. There was a Maxine in a stunning evening gown, a Jack dressed as a rock star, and an Eddie holding a sign that read, "The end is near." "Wow," Jack said, wide-eyed. "This is something else. Let's not get distracted," Maxine urged, her voice breaking through the surreal ambience. "We need to figure out how to get back." As they navigated this strange world, they encountered their alternate selves, each more absurd than the last. They shared laughs, philosophical debates, and even a dance-off that left them breathless. Maxine found herself surprised by how liberating it was to embrace the ridiculousness of it all, but as they began to feel comfortable, the portal started to flicker, signaling that their time was running out. "We have to go back," Maxine shouted, urging everyone to focus. The crew gathered, surrounded by their other selves. "It's time for us to return," Maxine declared. "But we can take a piece of this with us." They exchanged heartfelt goodbyes with their alternates, each one imparting wisdom and laughter. "Just remember," the rock star Jack said, "to live a little and embrace the chaos." With a final flourish, Maxine led her team back to the ship, and as they entered the vortex once more, they felt a jolt of energy surging through them. Back in their facility, they emerged from the ship, disheveled yet exhilarated. The officials looked on in disbelief. "You're back. And alive," one exclaimed, clearly unsure how to react. Maxine grinned, her heart full. "You won't believe what we found." But as they began recounting their tale, the officials exchanged skeptical glances, struggling to wrap their heads around the absurdity of it all. "Perhaps it was just a team-building exercise," one suggested, scratching his head. Maxine couldn't help but laugh. "Sure, let's go with that." As the team gathered for a debriefing, Maxine glanced at her crew, feeling a sense of warmth and connection that transcended their bizarre adventure. "Ready for round 2? She joked, waving her glittery black hole model. "Only if there are snacks involved," Jack replied with a wink, and as the laughter echoed through the facility, Maxine knew that whatever lay ahead, whether in this universe or another, they were ready to embrace it together, quirks and all. With a mischievous grin, she accidentally activated the model once again, sending the team spiraling back into the multiverse, this time filled with a sense of camaraderie and joy. "Just remember," she shouted as the portal engulfed them, "the glitter is only the beginning." And with that, they leapt into the unknown, laughter trailing behind them like stardust in the cosmos. As the familiar swirling colors enveloped them once more, Maxine felt an exhilarating rush. The laughter from the crew echoed in her ears, mixing with the hum of the ship's engines. The world around them blurred into an impressionistic painting of vibrant hues, each moment stretching and contracting in a strange dance of time. "Here we go again," Jack shouted, his voice filled with a mix of excitement and trepidation. Maxine could barely see him through the shimmering portal, but she could hear the grin in his tone. Then, with a flash, the ship lurched, and they were propelled into a new reality. The sensation of weightlessness caught her by surprise as they landed softly on a patch of fluffy, pastel grass. Looking around, Maxine's jaw dropped. They stood in a bizarre landscape where the sky was a shade of teal, and giant marshmallows floated lazily by like clouds. A large sign nearby read, "Welcome to Flufftopia." "What the—" Eddie started, but his words were lost as a group of animated, cartoonish creatures bounced toward them. Each creature was a mix between a rabbit and a pillow, their bodies soft and squishy, with big, googly eyes. "Greetings, Earthlings," they squeaked in unison, their voices high-pitched and cheerful. "Welcome to Flufftopia, where everything is soft, and dreams come true." Maxine exchanged a bewildered glance with Sophia, who was trying to stifle her laughter. "This is definitely not what I expected," Maxine admitted. Jack grinned. "Well, if we're stuck here, at least it looks comfortable." He plopped down onto the marshmallow grass, sinking in as if it were a cloud. "I could get used to this." The creatures hopped closer, their fluffy bodies jiggling with excitement. "Would you like to join us for the Great Fluff Festival?" one of them asked, its eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. Maxine was about to decline when Eddie piped up. "What's the Great Fluff Festival?" "It's a celebration of all things fluffy. There's bouncing, singing, and, most importantly, unlimited snack marshmallows," the creature exclaimed, bouncing in place. Jack's eyes lit up. "Unlimited snack marshmallows? Count me in." Maxine sighed, feeling the weight of leadership pressing down on her. "Okay, but we need to keep our wits about us. We can't lose sight of our mission." As they followed the creatures toward the heart of Flufftopia, the landscape shifted again. Trees with cotton candy leaves swayed gently in a breeze that smelled like fresh-baked cookies. Laughter and music filled the air, echoing with a whimsical melody that made Maxine want to dance. Arriving at a large clearing, they saw a massive inflatable stage, bright lights flashing and colorful banners flying overhead. Creatures of all shapes and sizes gathered around, bouncing and swaying to the infectious rhythm. "Welcome, fluffy friends," a larger creature with a vibrant crown of sprinkles shouted from the stage. "It's time for the Great Fluff Festival." Maxine couldn't help but smile at the joyful atmosphere, and as the music kicked in, she felt her previous worries melt away. "All right," she said, turning to her team. "Let's take a quick look around. We can gather information while having some fun." "Fun? I'm all in," Jack replied, already moving toward a booth labeled Fluffapalooza, the bouncing contest. Sophia tugged at Maxine's sleeve. "You know, we could use this time to recharge. We've been through a lot, and who knows how long we'll be here." "Fine," Maxine relented, feeling a twinge of guilt for her serious nature. "Just a quick bounce and then we're back to business." They joined the crowd, and soon found themselves bouncing alongside the creatures, their laughter ringing through the air. Maxine couldn't remember the last time she felt this carefree. The marshmallow grass cushioned their jumps, and the infectious energy of the festival pulled them deeper into the festivities. "Come on, Maxine," Jack shouted, his enthusiasm contagious. "Let loose a little." Before she knew it, she was laughing and bouncing, losing herself in the moment. Eddie, usually so reserved, was surprisingly adept at bouncing, attempting stunts that had everyone cheering. As the day wore on, they played games, snacked on delicious treats, and even participated in a dance-off, where Jack led the way, his moves a mix of choreography and pure chaos. The fluffy creatures cheered them on, completely enamored by the Earthlings' antics. Maxine finally felt the tension of their previous journey dissipate. It was a welcome distraction from the weight of their mission. But deep down, she knew they couldn't stay in Flufftopia forever. She kept a watchful eye on the horizon, hoping to spot another portal. Hours passed, and just when she thought they might settle in for the night, the sky darkened, shifting from teal to a deep indigo. The fluffy creatures began to murmur among themselves, their excitement waning. "Uh-oh," Sophia said, glancing around. "What's happening?" A hush fell over the crowd as the crowned creature raised its hands, trying to regain control. "Everyone, stay calm. The festival is not over. We just have a little surprise." Suddenly, a loud rumble echoed from the ground. The soft grass beneath them trembled, and the lights flickered ominously. Maxine felt her heart race. "This doesn't feel right." The crowned creature's face turned serious. "There's been a disturbance at the edge of Flufftopia. We need to protect our home." "What kind of disturbance?" Maxine asked, her instinct as a scientist kicking in. "Is it a portal opening?" The creature nodded gravely. "Yes. It's unstable, and if it collapses, it could take Flufftopia with it." Jack exchanged a worried glance with Maxine. "We need to help them. We've already navigated one unstable reality. We can do it again." With a newfound sense of purpose, the team rallied around the crowned creature. "What do we need to do?" Maxine asked, her voice steady. "Follow me," the creature said, leading them away from the festival's heart toward the edge of a shimmering cliff that overlooked a swirling vortex. The sight was both mesmerizing and terrifying. As they reached the cliff, Maxine could see that the portal flickered erratically, pulsating with energy. "We need to stabilize it before it implodes," she said, feeling a surge of determination. "If we can create a balance, it might hold long enough for everyone to escape." "Right," Jack said, his eyes narrowing with focus. "Eddie, can you calculate the frequency of the portal's vibrations?" "I'll try," Eddie replied, his fingers flying over his tablet. "If I can isolate the frequency, we can counteract it." "Okay, Sophia, let's work on rerouting the ship's energy to create a stabilizing field," Maxine directed, her mind racing. "And I'll monitor the portal." Together, they worked frantically, combining their skills in a desperate attempt to save Flufftopia. The crowned creature helped rally the fluffy citizens, organizing them to form a protective barrier around the portal, their soft bodies creating a shield against the chaotic energies. "Almost there," Eddie shouted, his face scrunched in concentration. "Just a little more, got it. Now, Sophia," Maxine called. "Send the energy." With a deep breath, Sophia pressed the button, and the ship's systems roared to life, sending a pulse of energy into the portal. The vortex trembled, and for a moment, it looked like it would collapse completely. "Come on," Maxine urged, her heart pounding in her chest. "Stay stable." Gradually, the portal's chaotic movements began to calm. Colors settled into a steady glow, and the vibrations softened. Cheers erupted from the fluffy creatures as the vortex transformed into a swirling halo, bright and welcoming. "We did it!" Jack yelled, his voice filled with triumph, but their victory was short-lived. A new sound erupted, a loud crack, and the ground shook violently again. Maxine felt the world sway beneath her feet. "The energy is unstable," Eddie shouted, panic creeping into his voice. "Everyone, hold on," Maxine called. "We need to reinforce the field." They hurried to adjust their controls, focusing their efforts on keeping the portal stable. The creatures surrounding them rallied together, lending their energy and support, and with one final push, the portal stabilized into a shimmering gateway. "Now's your chance," Maxine shouted. "Everyone, get ready to escape." The creatures leapt into action, ushering each other toward the portal, their soft bodies bounding gracefully. Maxine could see the hope in their eyes as they moved to safety. "Let's go," Jack said, grabbing Maxine's hand. "We have to jump too." Together, they moved toward the portal, feeling the energy radiate through them. Just as they reached the edge, Maxine turned back to the crowned creature. "Thank you. You've been amazing." The creature smiled, its eyes twinkling with gratitude. "You saved Flufftopia. We will always remember you, brave Earthlings." Without another moment's hesitation, Maxine and her team leaped through the portal, feeling the familiar rush of energy engulf them. They landed softly on a familiar marshmallow-like surface, but as the stars came back into focus, they realized they weren't in Flufftopia anymore. The sky was darker, a rich indigo, and an eerie silence enveloped them. "What just happened?" Jack murmured, scanning their surroundings. "Looks like we're in a different dimension," Sophia said, peering into the shadows. "It doesn't feel friendly." A low growl resonated from the darkened tree-line, sending chills down their spines. "Maybe we should have chosen a different portal," Eddie suggested, his voice shaking slightly. "Stay close," Maxine instructed, her scientist instincts kicking in. "We need to assess our surroundings and find a way back." Suddenly, a shadowy figure emerged from the darkness, its form shifting and blending into the surroundings. Well, what do we have here?" it rasped, eyes gleaming like cold stars. Maxine felt a shiver of fear, but she stood tall. "We mean no harm. We're just trying to find our way home." The creature laughed, a deep, unsettling sound. "Home? Oh, you're far from home, my friends. This is the Shadow Realm. And here, we play by different rules. What do you want from us?" Jack demanded, stepping forward bravely. "Only a little game," the shadow figure said, a sinister smile creeping across its face. "Win, and I'll send you back. Lose, and you'll become a part of my realm, forever wandering in the darkness." Maxine exchanged worried glances with her team. "What kind of game?" "Ah, a riddle," it said, its voice dripping with amusement. "Solve it, and your freedom awaits." "What's the riddle?" Eddie asked, his curiosity outweighing his fear. The creature leaned in closer, its eyes narrowing. "What has keys but opens no locks? It has space but no room. You can enter, but you can't go outside." Maxine's mind raced as she thought through the riddle. "A piano," she said confidently. The shadow figure recoiled, its expression darkening. "Correct. But there are many more riddles to come. Only the wisest shall leave." With that, the ground shook, and more shadows emerged, each presenting their own riddles, each more twisted than the last. Maxine's heart raced, but she felt the adrenaline surge through her veins. She stood beside her team, their faces determined. Together, they tackled each riddle, their minds working in harmony. "What has teeth but cannot bite? A comb. What runs but never walks? A river." As they answered each riddle correctly, the shadows grew frustrated, their forms flickering like candles in a breeze. Finally, they reached the last riddle. "What is so fragile that saying its name breaks it?" Silence enveloped them as the team exchanged worried glances. "Hope," Eddie whispered, and Maxine felt a spark of recognition. "That's it," she shouted. "Hope." The shadows shrieked, their forms dissipating like smoke in the wind. "You have won this time," the lead shadow hissed, retreating into the darkness. "But you have not seen the last of me." As the shadows disappeared, a portal appeared before them, shimmering with golden light. "Quick!" Maxine urged. "Let's go." They rushed toward the portal, feeling the familiar rush of energy pulling them in. Emerging on the other side, they landed once more on solid ground. This time, they found themselves in a vibrant forest filled with colorful flowers and towering trees. The air smelled sweet, like fresh fruit, and the sounds of laughter and music echoed nearby. "What is this place?" Jack asked, looking around in awe. "It looks beautiful," Sophia said, her eyes wide. "Let's explore," Eddie suggested, his usual anxiousness replaced by excitement. As they ventured deeper into the forest, they discovered a lively village, filled with creatures that resembled a blend of animals and mythical beings. They danced and sang, their voices harmonizing with the rustling leaves. "Welcome, travelers," a creature resembling a centaur greeted them, its voice melodic and warm. "You've arrived just in time for the Festival of Unity." Maxine felt a sense of relief wash over her. "Festival? What's it about?" "It's a celebration of friendship and cooperation between all beings," the centaur explained. "Would you like to join us?" Without hesitation, Maxine nodded. "We would love to." The festival was a whirlwind of colors, laughter, and joy. They participated in games, learned new dances, and shared stories of their adventures across the multiverse. Maxine felt the weight of her responsibilities begin to lift as the villagers embraced them with open arms. "Maybe we could stay here a while," Jack suggested, his eyes gleaming with excitement. "This place feels right." Maxine considered it but knew their mission wasn't over. "As wonderful as this is, we have to keep moving. There are still mysteries to uncover and adventures to be had." With a twinge of regret, they thanked their new friends and prepared to leave. The centaur approached, presenting Maxine with a beautiful crystal pendant. "This will guide you when you need it most. Wear it with pride, brave travelers." Maxine accepted it gratefully, feeling the warmth of the crystal against her skin. "Thank you. We won't forget this place." As they stepped back toward the portal, she turned to the villagers. "We'll carry your spirit with us wherever we go." With one last wave, they leapt through the portal, the energy surging around them once again. Landing on familiar ground, they found themselves back at the research facility, albeit in a different part than they'd originally left. The chaos was replaced by a serene quiet, as if time had paused while they traveled through dimensions. "Did we make it back?" Jack asked, glancing around. "Looks like it," Sophia said, her eyes scanning the surroundings. "But something feels off." "Agreed," Maxine said, her instincts on high alert. "Let's regroup and figure out our next steps." As they ventured deeper into the facility, the atmosphere shifted. An unsettling silence hung in the air, and the lights flickered ominously overhead. "Something's wrong," Eddie whispered, his voice barely audible. Suddenly, they were confronted by a figure draped in shadows, its form flickering like a flame. "You've returned," it hissed, the same sinister presence they'd encountered in the shadow realm. Maxine stepped forward, her heart pounding. "What do you want from us?" "You've disrupted the balance between realms," it snarled. "And now, you must pay the price." Jack moved to protect Maxine, his stance fierce. "We won't let you take us again." "Oh, but you have no choice," the figure sneered. "You will remain here, lost in the chaos you've created." With a swift motion, it unleashed a wave of energy that crashed over them like a tidal wave. Maxine felt her mind whirl, reality bending and twisting around her. "Hold on," she shouted, grabbing Jack's hand as they were swept away. they found themselves tumbling through a kaleidoscope of colors and shapes, the very fabric of reality stretching thin. "Maxine!" Jack yelled, his grip tightening. "We need to stabilize ourselves. Focus on each other," she shouted back, trying to remain grounded in the madness. They reached for one another, feeling the warmth of their bond anchoring them. With a sudden burst of clarity, the colors around them coalesced into a single bright light, and they emerged in a new dimension. This one was unlike any they had experienced before. They stood on a mountaintop, overlooking a vast landscape of shimmering lakes and rolling hills bathed in sunlight. In the distance, they saw creatures soaring through the sky, their wings glistening like diamonds. "What is this place?" Sophia whispered, her eyes wide with wonder. This feels like home," Eddie said, a smile breaking across his face. Maxine turned to her team, feeling a swell of hope. "We've been through so much together. Whatever challenges we face, we can overcome them." As they took a moment to breathe in the beauty around them, they heard a familiar voice echoing from the distance. "Brave travelers! Welcome to the realm of light." The figure approaching them was a radiant being, shimmering with golden light. "You have shown great courage and unity across the multiverse." Maxine felt a sense of awe wash over her. "Who are you?" "I am Leora, the guardian of the realms," the being replied, its voice like a soothing melody. "You have done much to restore balance and protect the worlds. Now, I offer you a choice." "A choice?" Jack echoed, intrigued. "You can return to your home world, or you can stay here and become guardians yourselves, protecting the realms from darkness." Maxine felt her heart race. The idea of staying was tempting, but she glanced at her team, each one brimming with excitement and fear. "What do you all want?" she asked, her voice steady. "I want to help," Eddie said, determination shining in his eyes. "This place is incredible. I could get used to being a guardian," Jack added with a grin. Maxine nodded, feeling the weight of their journey pressing on her heart. I think we should stay. We've learned so much, and together, we can make a difference." As the decision settled over them, Leora smiled. "Then welcome, guardians of the realms. Together, you shall protect the light and ensure that hope shines bright." In that moment, Maxine felt a rush of purpose and belonging. The journey had transformed them in ways they could never have imagined, and now, they stood united, ready to embrace whatever lay ahead. As they turned to face the horizon, a new adventure awaited, one filled with light, laughter, and the promise of endless possibilities. And as they took their first steps into this new reality, they knew that their bond would guide them through the ever-expanding tapestry of the multiverse.